Greetings adult collectors, I am Crash the Customizer, and welcome to another custom Transformers showcase. This is my custom Transformers Prime, Optimus Prime. Now this figure here is the Transformers Prime Robots in Disguise figure. Not to be confused with the Transformers Robots in Disguise 2015, but the line they created during the running of Transformers Prime. Because when they created the figures, they started out with what they called First Edition, and then they had Robots in Disguise. Now, the First Edition obviously was intended to be kind of like a perfect version, or so to say. They had its issues. But the First Edition cost over $100. And at the time, I'm assuming it was probably sold for $40, or maybe even around at that time, maybe $20, and I'm not going to spend $100 for a Voyager when, like, a modern day Voyager is about $40, and that's what I was able to get this for is $40. So I thought, well, that's kind of about normal price. And a lot of people don't like the backpack, how it kind of sticks off in the front here, and then how it comes back here. Honestly, that doesn't really bother me. I mean, I think it looks okay. And then, of course, once you paint the forearms with red, instead of having that weird transparent blue that made no sense, and then kind of painting in some of the details right here, and then also, of course, painting these little sections back here with the blue, it actually looks pretty good. I mean, it looks like how it looked like in the show. So, I honestly like this figure. And I'm actually glad to be able to have the version of Optimus Prime from Transformers Prime in my collection. You may also notice this is not the only custom in this video, because we also have a custom Autobot base. So I designed this base to be kind of like the base in the show. So we have a little computer console here for Ratchet, and these are basically just, I printed these off from images, and then basically put them on some cardboard, and then this section here that's connecting them is from some Lincoln logs. And then this section here came from a Thomas train thing. It was like a piece that made the tracks higher. I just painted them silver. Then they got like another Lincoln log here for a post. We have the ground bridge controls, which is on a little Lego assembly here, and you can also turn it like independently, and it's on another one of those Thomas train things, some Lincoln logs, and then this little section here, and then we have this little ground bridge, which is just kind of, so I printed off and then glued 3 of them here so they can drive through it. And this whole section here is a old military base I used to have. It was like this military base that came with a few army men, and of course I don't have those anymore, but that's what it originally was. And this whole section right here is that. And then, of course, now I just kind of expand it a little bit, make it more the size of the, match the Autobots. And then this was another Thomas train thing. It was the roads for one of the sets. And then it's just a Lego door I added. It doesn't go anywhere. I just made it look like that. So kind of give it a little cool look. And of course, they have this little Lego staircase where you can walk up to this section here. You can put figures here. And here is the front of it with more of that military base. And then I put this little F right here as a reference to the show. And then we have these doors that is kind of still open, but they're actually taped on rather than having a little like pin used to go in there because it was broke. But I usually don't use those doors because I usually don't display the outside. I usually display with the inside open. So yeah, this will now be the new layout for all of my Transformers Prime customs. Now back to the figure. So yeah, I honestly don't mind the way the figure actually looks. And once you paint in the details, it actually looks good. Now, of course, I added is the posable hands like I do with all my figures. So you can have him pointing, and you can have him, like, of course, you can give a little closed fist here. But you do have to actually take these out in the vehicle mode. But you can also take them out now, and you can put in weapons here. So go ahead and take out the other one here. And that just leaves those little Lego studs I put there. And I have a sword here. And this was from the movie Optimus Prime. I don't actually have the figure. I just had like parts of it that my nephew gave me. And I just kind of like cut off some of this and basically like made it kind of more shape of Optimus Prime's sword in Prime. Of course, I have two of them. And then I have his blasters. And these are made solely out of Lego pieces. Or at least most of it is. This right here is actually one of the Creo pieces, but that's basically Hasbro's version of Legos. So I just basically put in these little pieces here like this, and then I use these little like cross axle pieces. I don't know the names of these pieces, but anyway, you look closer view, you can see these, kind of see what's made out of here. And then that's kind of that little cheese wedge and then a little peg so you can stick it in here. So we'll start by putting his blasters in, so we just peg them in. Fit in there, and then there we go. He has his blasters. And honestly, that looks pretty accurate. It looks like how his blasters looked. That's what I was trying to go for, trying to make them as show accurate as I could. And then of course we can give him his swords as well. So we'll take the blasters out. And then the swords will go in this little peg right here, which is just attached on some few Lego pieces, and it'll just go like this. And now he has his swords. And of course you can have him holding his weapons independently with a sword and a blaster. And just because, here he is with his animated counterpart. And even though this is the wrong Megatron, I don't say they don't look bad together, they're just not the same show, but honestly, this could kind of fit in with Prime. So now with his arms removed, we'll go ahead and transform him. Now, transformation, I won't say is difficult, but it is very complicated actually. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to unattach his chest here. Just kind of pegs in right here. Just got to get it to unpeg from this section right here. And then we're going to go ahead and rotate his arms up and extend down his shoulder pads like this. And so we got that weird looking butterfly look. Anyway, so then we go to fold this section down, all the way down like that. We're going to flip his head up and then push these backpack sections down like this. And we're just going to fold this in like this. So it kind of fold in the sides, and then now we have the wheels and everything in place. And then we'll go ahead and just kind of leave that up there for now. So then we're going to kind of get these off the side right now to kind of get them out of the way. So what we're going to do here is take the chest section here. We need to kind of fold it up right like this. And then we're going to take his arms and bring them back just like this. And then we need to fold the forearms kind of underneath his chest here like this. And then of course they will tab together, which mine doesn't tab in together real well. It tends to want to leave a little bit of a gap, but that doesn't really bother me all that much. So just kind of fold it like that, and then we'll take these and fold them up here for right now. And we need to flip this little side section here in so that it'll be able to tab these together. Just going to leave them like that for right now because we need to unattach his little knees here, and then we're going to fold in his feet just like this, and that will create the little hitch for the trailer, which I don't have, but we just peg his legs together. Then we kind of fold these sections underneath here like this. So then once we've done that, kind of push this back so we can tab the arms in this little section here. Make sure it's all lined up so we can tab it right there. And then we kind of push the windshields in a little bit. And then you take shoulders, kind of fold them down like this. That'll create the roof of the vehicle. Rotate these up, and they will peg in right here. Just kind of get everything kind of lined up and level. It tends to take a little doing to kind of get these to line up actually level like they're supposed to be. Just got to kind of bend the legs just right. Once you do, here you have Optimus in his vehicle mode. And honestly, the vehicle mode does look pretty good, actually. I mean, it looks like the show, especially after I paint this little section here blue to give it the details it's supposed to have. But yeah, I honestly like it. I mean, it pulls off the look. And like I said, the shoulder pads making the roof of the truck rather than the feet doing it. I think it kind of makes a little more sense. So yeah. And I did, of course, kind of give it some silver right here in the front. Kind of make this little, kind of pop a little better. I painted in the, come on, stay tabbed in. I will say these don't tab in very well. There's not very good post there, but that's all right. Just gotta pop it back in and it'll be all right. So then I did also paint these little orange lights up here, and then painted his little tail lights. But I do wish, though, he had another Autobot symbol right here, because in robot mode, he is technically supposed to have Autobot symbol on both shoulders, but oh well. And again, just because here he is with animated Optimus. And one thing I forgot to mention, I did also paint in the rims with some silver. Now to get Optimus back into his robot mode, first thing we need to do is untab this section here, which will allow us to be able to start kind of pulling things apart. So we'll pull these down here, unattach the little roof section here, and it'll basically separate itself. Then we can take this, pull this section down, and then this can be a little tricky to get this to work. You just got to kind of get it, pull back enough, untab it from here, untab it from there. I said, come on, work with me here. Untab that, and then pull this section up. We can untap his arms, start to bring them around here. So we just need to extend them out like this, just like that. I'll go ahead and flip his knees back down. And we'll split his legs, flip out his feet, rotate them around. Then we'll take this section here, flip it back, just kind of lay these just kind of over the wheels. They don't really tab in anywhere, but just kind of lay it like that. Then we take his chest. We're going to rotate his arms up so the shoulder pads are facing the top. Flip this little section here and that little tab, and then fold the shoulder pads down, and then flip up his head, collapse up his chest, tab it in, and then all situated. The last thing to do is to take his hands and peg them back into his forearms. There we have Optimus back into his robot mode. And with this little closed fist hand I made here, you can actually stick this in here, and you can make him hold animated Optimus's axe, just because. even though that never happened in the show. But actually, the axe looked pretty good with Optimus, honestly. A little too heavy for him to hold, but it looks pretty cool. So I really like how this figure turned out. Once you get everything painted up, it does look pretty show accurate. And just to be able to have this in my collection is pretty awesome. Now I know this is not the kind of customs that you're used to seeing on my channel, but not all customs are going to be the same, because my previous custom line was supposed to be just making all of the animated characters in Legacy that we didn't get figures for. This is basically taking the original Prime figures and just give them more show accurate paint, because Prime is what got me back into Transformers, and just to be able to have show accurate versions of the figures is just something I really want to be able to have. And honestly, give them a show accurate paint and show accurate weapons looks pretty awesome. And of course, once we get into Beast Hunters, you will kind of start seeing more of what you're used to, given that Beast Hunters needed a lot of customs made for the fact that none of the Beast Hunters figures look very show accurate. So then you'll kind of see what you're kind of used to. So if you like this video, be sure to check out the description, where you will find a link to all of my future Prime customs, along with my Transformers Legacy animated customs. There will also be a link that will take you to my stop motion channel, where I will at some point try to make a stop motion series. Right now it's just kind of some random stop motions, as I'm kind of learning how to do it and do it right. And be sure to like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any future customs. And until next time, this is Crash the Customizer, out. Megatron, one shall stand, one shall... Wait. You are not my Optimus, and you are not my Megatron. So, then what do we do? That depends, Megatron. Do you try to conquer the Earth like my Megatron? Well, of course I do. There isn't a Megatron in any universe that doesn't, except for Shattered Glass. But that Megatron is a fool. Well, if that is true, then whether or not you are my Megatron, I will stop you. We shall see about that, Prime. Indeed we will, Megatron. One shall stand, one shall fall.